Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. We're gonna tell who the best of the best was. Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. Nobody ever does it better than we does. Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. How many awards is Dirty Daddy Dom gonna win?
I picked the wrong song. I don't have them labeled properly enough.
Awesome Wrestling
Still a good
Show.
song.
None going to his dad, 'cause Dom has always been better than him.
So it's the wrong song, but it'll be all right. Everybody, welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. It is yours truly, Jimmy Bay, and I am joined, as always, to the right of me by Albert, and we'll get to our special guest in just a second. But Albert, how the heck have you been, and how have you been enjoying your wrestling?
I've been doing good, and I've been loving my wrestling. It's been fun. I've been watching some new school stuff. I've been watching some old school Survivor Series stuff just for fun. And man, wrestling is it's my happy place.
Happy days. We'll get to how unhappy some of these days have been lately. But
for some people, maybe.
And then on the other side of Albert, to the right of me, we have a long ago friend from long ago, from regular scheduled hostilities. We met him on Wrestle Buddy right here, the channel that you are on. Josh, the self-proclaimed John Cena superfan. How the heck have you been, sir? And how have you been enjoying wrestling? Oh, we gotta remove boom.
All right, my bad.
There. You're good. You're back.
You hit one button on your phone, it knocks you out. This is new. I apologize.
Okay. It's all good. How have you been? And how have you been enjoying wrestling since last time we seen you, man? You enjoying this boom?
WWE is on fire. Like, it's absolutely insane how much has changed. And AEW's got worse than I even predicted. So that was kind of mind-blowing as well. The WWE is on fire, and it definitely, Chamber really helped this build to Mania. It was kind of lacking, and I'm glad it was, because look what we got out of it.
Yeah. Like I was kind of checked out a little bit. Chamber happened, and I was like, "Oh, I'm back invested." And then Monday Night Raw happened, and I was like, "Okay, you sons of." So I'll just knock this out the way. This is the John Cena show. We tend to go over and kind of talk about anything that comes up in the chat. But I will say this, everybody, to your listen. If anybody's listening right now, we ain't talking about what happened at the end of Monday Night Raw, because that's a sad moment for this guy right here. And I just need more time to just kind of deal with what happened. So no mention of that nonsense. We're here to talk about John Cena. All right, let's get these comments out of the way, and then we'll jump right in. He ain't the final boss. Man, I'm coughing. I hope y'all talk more than I do.
According to the picture that you posted, I am the final boss.
That's true. That is true. And I'm the Cody Crowley.
I guess so, yeah.
What is up, Courtney? Thank you for joining. Yes, he is. It. Lou?
Always was.
You've always ended up jumping on my bandwagon. So just know the day is coming where you're going to appreciate Dirty Daddy Dom. You're going to get there. I promise you. Just like you did with Punk, just like you did with Sammy, we're going to get there. Hey, yo, that's Harry again. And then Courtney says, hey, Josh. So just to get this knocked out right out the gate, I'm going to swing it over to Josh. Josh, what did you think about John Cena finally showing his true colors that Punk called him out on for years ago and becoming the bastard that he is at the Elimination Chamber?
Dude, you can go back to Bray at the Firefly Funhouse, too, with his NWO segment and that. Like, he even said, like, you're going to get sick of this, John. You're just going to want the spotlight. And he did exactly what Bray said. Perfect time. I don't know how you deliver that better. Like, I didn't know. Like, I don't think there's probably 5% of people that kind of put it together, the people that live on the internet and look at every little thing. I don't have time for that. But, I think it was perfectly done. I don't know how you turn him heel better. Like, even the Travis Scott thing added to it to me. Like, just him being there. And you never think John Cena and The Rock would ever team up, especially Cody. But, dude, it was jaw-dropping. Like, I started screaming, like, calling everybody that still watches wrestling in their mid-30s like me. My roommate's jaw was literally on the ground for about 5 minutes. He's like, dude, I can't believe that happened. I've probably watched it 150 times, but I'm ready for it, man. I'm already fantasy booked. I've booked like his next 6 months, so I'm ready for it. As soon as that gear comes out, I'm express shipping that here.
I'll say this. When I listened to his Van Vliet interview that he did, and he was talking about going heel before, he said no merch. So I don't think that's going to happen. But if there isn't any merch, I'm just preparing you for the worst. Don't be surprised, because he said, I'm not doing merch. I'm not doing press. I'm not doing Make-A-Wish. I'm not doing any of this stuff.
Break-A-Wish, right?
Full on. Everything I used to be about, I'm not going to be about anymore. So I'm very curious to see how much of that he upholds on with this run.
So Cody talks tomorrow, and I think Cena's advertised next Friday.
The 17th.
The 17th? So today's what, the 6th?
I think that's a Raw.
So he's advertised for Raw. Okay.
Yeah.
Because people now...
I think Cody's advertised for the same Raw.
Oh, so Cody's not on tomorrow?
No, he's probably on tomorrow. I'm just saying I think he's going to be advertised.
Okay, so they'll be under the same roof.
Yeah.
There's the people like, oh my God. It's like almost what Michael Cole said to a point. It's like, why would you turn heel, John? You have everything. You have the life. It's like, dude, it's so easy. Come out. Hey, I busted my ass for you guys for 21 years. I was a babyface for 21 years. And guess what you did? Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Like, dude, you didn't appreciate me when I was here. Screw you guys. I've lost like 7 matches. He ain't won a match in like 5 years until the Chamber, right? Like, it's been a minute. So he could be like, well, it wasn't working for me, so I joined up with the final boss, and now I'm going to be the champion, and there ain't shit you guys can do about it. I mean, it's literally perfect. And I hear that he is a really arrogant prick in real life. And I've watched Yvonne, my sister, watched Total Divas, and she's like, yeah, he's kind of an asshole. So he just got to be himself, so it should come natural. I mean, I'm really excited for it. But the first promo and when he explains has to deliver, though. It does have to make sense. You do have to follow it up big time.
Yeah, agreed. And now, Albert, what did you think about the execution of John Cena to breaking the hearts of millions and millions and millions of people, bro?
Not since Bobby the Brain Heenan in 1996 as a human being felt so vindicated that I have said so much bad crap about somebody, and then they finally proved that I was right the whole time.
I'm glad you brought up the Bobby Heenan reference. That's good.
When Hulk Hogan turned heel, Bobby Heenan's immediate reaction was, see, I knew it. He was always a jerk. I always told you he was a jerk. And you guys didn't listen to me, but I was always right. And that's how I feel about John Cena right now. Look, I was a John Cena fan when he first started. When he first started with the rapper gimmick. I liked him during, when he became the champion. I admit it. I grew tired of John Cena very quickly. I was a big Randy Orton fan, a big Edge fan. Throughout his entire run, they're putting him over guys like Edge, like Jericho, like Christian, like Triple H. I'm like, these are my favorite guys, and John Cena's just bulldozing through these guys like they don't mean anything. I'm over you. I want to see, I don't want to see you at all. I was so happy I got tickets for the 2008 Royal Rumble. Cena's not going to be here. He's out for like 6 months. This bastard comes back and he's number 30 and wins the damn thing while I'm there. I'm like, come on. I can't avoid this. I go to the SummerSlam one year thinking, this is great. Main event, Randy Orton versus John Cena. I get to see my favorite wrestler right now, Randy Orton, win the world title live. And Cena beats him in the main event. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Time goes on. I realize, okay, I get it. I was an angry teenager, coming out of high school into my college years. I was an angrier guy. I was an ECW fan. This was Cena just wasn't my guy. But to see after all this time, this guy kept a smile on his face, kept the money flowing for WWE during one of the hardest periods in the history of professional wrestling, was the top guy in the business when the business needed somebody like him the most. And
he did it. He did it longer than any other top guy too. By
almost double.
Yeah.
Most of those top guys, even Hogan, who was on top for a long time, doesn't come close to how long Cena was on it. And he did it with humility and respect. So my thought process was, hey, you know what? He wants to go out. They want to give him the number 17. Fine. I'll deal with it. one more time. I'll let him just upset me and just let him piss me off because it's going to inevitably happen. And then he did this. And I think this is the greatest thing they could have done because nobody saw it coming. And if you are like, I think Josh, you said there's like 5% of people that probably said, saw this coming. If you're one of those 5%, but I don't think even you, if you even predicted it was going to happen, even thought in your mind that it was even going to really happen.
That's what I was going to say about it is because everyone's like, oh, well, I predicted it. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people were like John Cena turning heel for sure. One, you didn't see it happening like that. There's no, I'm sorry. And even if you did like say like he's turning heel, it's one of those things where you can say it all day and until it happens, you don't really believe. There's no way you honestly believe it because of just what John Cena has been.
There's a lot of hindsight that went into that, because a lot of people were like, oh, well, I put it together after I, went back and I listened to that Royal Rumble presser. Yeah. After you see him turn heel. Yeah, of course. Now that press conference makes sense. A beautiful thing. Yeah. It's incredible, right? Like, oh, I saw it happening when he was in the chamber. No, Rollins stomped Punk and Cena took advantage. That isn't a heel thing to do. It looks like it now, but that wasn't a heel thing to do. He took advantage of, to try to get to the main event of WrestleMania. Even if he was a babyface, he probably would have been like, oh, the normal John Cena.
I'll say this about the stomp.
And it takes advantage of her.
When it happened and John Cena scurried over there, I did think, I said, that's not John. But
I said it was a little fast.
At no point in time, I was like, he's about to turn heel. It was like, that's not John. I think it just played into the desperation thing. Like he's just
right. He's got to get 17. This is his last chance to get 17, right? So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
No one pieced it together. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think anybody pieced this together. I think everybody's thought process. We talked about this, Jimmy, last week. We thought it was going to be Drew.
Yeah.
I did too.
God, Drew,
I picked Drew. I picked Drew to win. Then he got knocked out early, and I was like, "Well, what the hell are they doing then?"
When he got rolled up, I literally stood up and was like, "This has been a thing for me lately. This is how I know WWE, as Josh was saying, is on fire. Like I stand up a lot during shows now. With what the fuck? Like what the fuck?" And when Drew got pinned, I literally was like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "Damian Priest? I guess they are doing that stupid ass match. Whatever,
like, man." Maybe Punk's gonna win. That was my next thought. Like, maybe
Punk that's gonna
win. But John Cena, I was never a big John Cena guy. I always respected him. He's all like, to me, he's like Tom Brady of football and LeBron James of that. Like, he's clearly the best at the point. But it's like, man, I'm sick of seeing him just dominate, and that's where the stain came from. But over the last few years, like Albert, like I was kind of like, you know what? I just need to sit back and appreciate this because he truly is one of the greatest ever to it. So much so that on SmackDown, when they were doing the little promos with each other, I was like, man, how awesome would it be if John Cena came out right now and just surprised them all? And all of a sudden, I was like, it's going to happen. I got up. And I'm like, ooh, it's about to. And then the John Cena music hits, and I lost my shit. Like a little 5-year-old boy, like John Cena. I jumped up, I jumped behind the couch. I was like, it's on now. He's about to cook these fools. And then Logan Paul came out, and I was like, you son of a bitch. Dude. It made me so mad because I wanted John Cena so bad.
How good is Logan Paul though? Like I know people are like, he's a dick. I hate his guts. Like, congratulations. He's very good at his job. You're not supposed to like him. Yeah. Like, he's grown on me so much over the last year, and now he's full time. So you can't even really bitch about that anymore because he is training. He's about to be on the road with them all the time. I mean, dude, I was so scared. We were going to get Punk and Logan Paul or Cena versus Logan Paul at Mania, not because the match wouldn't be good, but it's like I feel like it would just be a waste for Punk or Cena. I'm so glad that they seem to be going AJ Styles there.
If it's Cena's last Mania or it's Punk's first Mania in 10 years, the Logan Paul match is bad.
Yeah, that's
any
like
other time I'm cool.
But do it any other time. Yeah,
there's enough. Do it a Saturday night main event. Do another PLE. You could definitely put it on one of them, and it rocked. The match would be good with him, but
for sure. But
I want to ask a quick question. In seeing all that we just saw here, we've all had in our minds, right? This idea of what John Cena's run was going to be when he came back, right?
I had a beautiful one.
95% of the matches that we fantasy booked probably aren't going to happen.
No, they're not.
Because he's a heel now. I mean, I thought for sure, we talked about this. I thought for sure there was going to be a John Cena Logan Paul program. That just seems natural. Like there's just a bunch of heels. Cena and Drew. Like there are a bunch of heels that I was like, it still could. I think everything's on the table.
I think Drew's kind of a tweener. Like I think he could go back and forth.
The other big part of it is that we heard John Cena announce his retirement. Is there the chance that John Cena turns heel and he goes, you know what? I ain't retiring.
No. I could see it playing out like this, kind of like the Summer Punk thing, where it's like, I'll leave when I lose this title. And then he loses the title and he's gone. I see the retirement as a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, WWE has been talking about changing their December pay-per-view and naming it Ruthless Aggression, and that kind of being based around John Cena.
You're going to add one in December?
No. Well, did they have one last year?
The last few years, they haven't had one in December. Because there's that big gap. That's why they did
Survivor Series
now.
Yeah, I read they wanted
Survivor Series, the Rumble.
I read they wanted to do like a Ruthless Aggression and kind of make that a tribute to him. So I'm not convinced he stays heel all year. I do think there's a way you can go full circle and turn him back before he ends, because I doubt he ends as a heel, so we can cheer him off into the sunset. But this summer just got much more interesting. Hey, I think your boy Punk's going to be a huge part of what Cena's doing going forward.
Like we talked about it when we were trying to pick Cena's 5 people we wanted to see Cena wrestle during his retirement run. And I was like, Punk at Money in the Bank makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah.
Run that shit back just for nostalgia. Because, I mean, nostalgia is fun. And if we're going to have a retirement tour, we want to see that mixed in with the new stuff. And now that he might be champion, Money in the Bank match.
Oh, dude. There's no doubt in my mind. You don't turn him heel then have him lose. That would absolutely discredit what you just did. He has to go over. That's an AEW move. Oh, yeah, the best moment ever. Oh, Jungle Boy, whatever the hell his name is, just went over. Like, no, they're not going to do it. Cena's going over.
Well, I want to see how things play out before I make it. Like, right now, I'm like 60-40 Cena winning. But I want to see how things play out leading up to it.
I think that they're going to add somebody. And I think that
Punk will be added.
I think they're going to add somebody to their group. And that group member... that was why Cena wins.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a bit. I'm gonna get that in the next question.
Okay.
He says he thinks John was real cool. I think John's fantastic with his fans. I think if you catch him on a bad day, he's probably gonna give you the real John Cena. And I think Total Divas. I don't know. Maybe John Cena on Total Divas was just playing though. He might have just been like, I want to be evil.
He probably just amplified his.
Yeah,
he really is.
He's a very interesting dude. That's all I say.
He is.
I was, bro, all of us.
Same. I was pissed.
I messaged Jimmy. I was like, the 2 people I picked for the chamber got eliminated first.
Yeah,
they both. I think Bailey and Drew. They were both out first. I was, what's happening?
I'll follow it up with this, Lou. LeBron still ain't better than MJ, and Brady's damn cheater. That's all I'll say.
Facts.
I see both sides of it. Honestly, I get why people love him, and I get why people tend to think I think that's the idea, though. I think he's very he's like a lightning rod for
exactly.
Like he's gonna get it, and I think that's the kind of attention you want with a wrestler. Like if you're getting that kind of attention where people are like, he's really awesome, I really hate him, he's this, you're constantly talking about him, and that's good. That's good. So, and this is an interesting one because again, is this something we ever thought we would see?
Mm-hmm.
A babyface Randy Orton taking on a heel John Cena.
See,
this
I
is
think
like bizarro world.
I think something totally different. I think that you guys are talking about they're adding somebody to be the third person.
Okay,
I think it's Randy Orton.
Oh my goodness, Drew should be the third. No, I like Drew alone.
Yeah,
if he would have won the chamber, I thought that he was going to be the one. But when he lost, I was like, damn,
he was the one. Like because. When my son, because he loves Drew McIntyre, he calls him handsome boy Drew. And when he went out, my son was like, because I had to watch it with him afterwards. So I got to watch the heel turn like back to back. And he's like, I said, hold up. I think Drew could still be a part of this, man, because he knew that I thought Drew was going to be the one going into the main event in line with Rock. And then when it was John Cena, it was like, Drew just got shafted big time here. That was my idea, but that's just my personal own booking, and I realize that's just because it's not mine doesn't mean it's not good. It's John Cena as a heel. I'm very, very, very intrigued. So You both have mentioned adding a third person to this. I'm gonna just call him the Illuminati because we have. Wait, before we get there, I want to bring up Travis Scott because Josh said he didn't mind it. Albert, I want to know what you thought about it because I personally think, like Josh said, I think it added to it because people were mad about it, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. Like,
be mad,
really be
like,
pissed off about all this shit that just happened, and that's
But I
just
don't-
one little extra layer to add on top of it.
Mhm.
So
What I
did
hate
you
about
think
wrestling what I hate about wrestling fans is their insistence that everything that happens has to happen in the way that they want it. You literally saw, like, what we're going for, through right now is literally the biggest equivalent to the NWO than there is of anybody else. And what was happening with the NWO during their inception for the most of the time? Dennis Rodman was sitting there hanging out with them the whole time. You have somebody. Look, I get it. Look, I'm not a hip hop guy, but I know Travis Scott. I know who he is. I know he's very big. I know he's very popular, and he's also a fan. He loves this stuff. So if you got a guy in there that's willing to go out there and to do this, and you could put him in there with the biggest people in your company, why wouldn't you do it? Because now you're not just laying eyes on it from a wrestling perspective. You have all these people who are Travis Scott fans going, yo, he was in wrestling. He punched the guy in the face. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, he's with the Rock. Get out of here. You got people that are going to draw eyes to the product. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it at all. I don't know if it added to it, but it didn't take away. It didn't make me mad. Like, I wasn't mad that he was there. I understood it. It's business.
I think it added to the Rock's hope, like what he's offering. Like, he's like, I could get everything. And
here's mainstream appeal right here.
Part of that is Travis Scott being there. And I will say, I won't lie. I like one of his songs, the Sicko Mode. Sicko Mode's a dope song. I think it's cool. I don't know anything else he's done. But I will say this:
listen to that kind of music. So
I know zero of his songs.
As a person who just kind of like, I know Cody's awesome and like he's great at what he does. I still like seeing him get bitch slapped, and for Travis Scott to give him the bitch slap of all bitch slaps, I was like, yeah, get him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was just another added dimension to it. Like, hey, this is part of the package. Like, I am offering you everything, and you just told me to go F myself. So, Travis, pop.
Yeah, how much did you guys pop for the go F yourself?
I was awesome. I was like,
I thought that was the biggest moment of the night. I was like, oh my God, they said the F word on WWE television. That's it. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
I thought that was going to be
2
the end of the
minutes
segment.
later.
I thought Rock was just going to be like, all right, and then leave. And then we were just kind of going to be left to like, okay, what's next? Because they like to do cliffhanger stuff. I thought we were being left with a cliffhanger. So it was built perfectly. It was like, first it was like Cena won. Okay, he might do 17. And then, The Rock gets told to F himself. It's like, oh, and then John Cena breaks everyone's hearts. You son of a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years in a row, Elimination Chamber has had a very emotional ending. So
now we'll circle back to the question I was asking. The Illuminati, as we're going to call them until they give themselves a name, if they even do give themselves a name, we're thinking we're adding members. Josh, I'll swing it over to you first because I'm just very curious. I want to get to Albert's, but because I talked to you briefly about this, but go ahead. Do you think they're adding members? How many? Who?
I'll ask both of you. How many do you guys think they add?
One more.
I agree.
Could see them doing a male and a female, maybe.
I'd like that.
Okay. So my buddy Jimmy just sent me a text with this graphic, and it was Seth and Becky.
Yeah.
Seth has sold his soul already. Yes, everybody remembers the Shield thing, right? Like, Seth don't give a shit. He'll sell his soul. And then you got Punk going after Becky in promos. You got The Rock bringing Becky Lynch's name up. So, I mean, that would make sense. Now, I don't know how it fits, like, having a chick run around unless she has somebody to feud with. Maybe they bring Cody's wife in. I don't think she's actually signed to the company. But, like, there's not really a woman for her to work with in this situation right now. So, bringing her in, I don't know if it makes the most sense right now until, like...
I'm just a huge advocate for putting women in like big positions. That's all. Like if they don't, and it's fine. I would personally like to see it as long as it makes sense.
They did it in the OG Judgment Day with Rhea. She didn't really have anybody to feud with, but they just knew that she was the best person for that position. So I can see them doing the same thing with Becky. Sure.
So Like it'd be Seth. I mean, do we all think the one is Roman, right? Like when he gets to the throat
Yeah.
slit and it's just the one,
Yeah.
then the Rock
3 was
Roman.
Cody, and then 2. We're gonna get to this question next too because I have a good theory here. But 3 is definitely was
Because
that, and
he
then
did
when
the
it gets to
3.
1, it's Roman.
It's like the Cena thing. They did put it right in our faces. He was on the damn truck. They
I
did the
don't think
3
that.
thing.
I think
Dude,
that's
like,
a stretch because
dude,
he
I
did
don't
this.
know.
He did this. He didn't do the 3 Cena thing. He just did 3 fingers, and then he did. So I don't. I think it's an interesting little thing, and maybe it did. I personally don't buy into that one. I think it's kind of just grasping at straws with hindsight, because again, hindsight is a beautiful thing, and you be like, oh, like people trying to say when Rock was whooping Cody last year going into Mania, and John Cena was on the truck in the background. They're like, they knew, and it's like, shut the fuck up. No, they did.
Dude,
Right.
I was telling you guys before we went on. I think Jay's a dark horse in this. So you know his whole thing with Gunther is y'all don't believe in me. I believe in myself. Yeet, whatever the hell he screams. If he goes and loses to Gunther on night 1, and The Rock's like, dude, look, you join me, you'll have that belt. But you know, whatever. I'm bigger than Roman. I'll get you. Roman got you this far. Roman got you here. I'll get you here.
Yeah.
I think Jay makes a lot of sense too. I really do. And then Cody and Jay have history, you know, they're boys or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I want to see Seth though, because how I see it going forward, I think your boy Punk's going to be after Mania. I think he's going to be a huge part of what's going on between after his promo Monday. You can see that that's where they're probably headed. So Seth has obviously animosity toward Punk, to say the least. So that would further that story. Like to your guys' point, if Becky gets involved, Punk's brought her up. Becky made that tweet that you better watch your boy because you know Punk has a ladies' man mentality backstage. He is always with women in pictures. I will. That is true. That is true.
He also has the pictures of men. The problem is everybody amplifies the women ones because they're weird about it, and it's like, come on, y'all. I didn't like that, and I'm one of Becky's biggest fans. I thought it made Roxanne look bad, so that's why I didn't like that. And I'm glad.
It was weird. It was weird, but like you can throw that in. Like Triple H treats us like the thing is Triple H treats us like like wrestling fans that understand the product. So we are aware. We're aware this tweet's there, whether it's deleted or not. They're gonna they could reference that later.
Yeah,
and be like, oh, what are you gonna? Punk could be like, hey, what are you gonna do, Seth? Have your wife tweet and delete it again? You little bitch. Like they can do whatever they like. It could play into what they do going forward. But my guess is Seth, because I just think logically it makes the most sense. And if you're going Rock and Roman, you know Seth ain't a big fan of Roman either. So I just think logically that I think Seth or Jay would be my 2. LA Knight is my dark horse.
Yeah, the LA Knight is the one I was talking to you about, which I'll just go ahead and so if I have a dark horse, it's no, my main pick would be LA Knight because I think it would be huge for him. I think
for sure.
And eventually, when you get John Cena to turn babyface again, it's because The Rock picks LA Knight to kind of just push John Cena out of the way.
That would be sweet.
And then you have a John Cena LA Knight feud. And I don't care that LA Knight's, what is he, 42 years old or whatever? He's still fresh. He's still fresh. And he could be a top guy for you for the next 2-3 years.
For sure.
I think he could.
I mean, AJ Styles is going to be 50.
Dude, and him and Logan Paul.
In 2 years? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
they're going to tear it down.
Right.
They're going to have an excellent
He's still
match.
great. There's no reason why LA Knight can't be around for another 5 years as being a top guy.
And
for sure.
I think we all know of the grind that LA Knight, he's been hustling for 20 years to become the guy. And he's been fighting and getting there. And it just seems like he has a glass ceiling. How do you break that glass ceiling? You sell your soul to The Rock, and he gives you all these hopes and dreams that he says that he's capable of doing. Like LA Knight was on dating shows. He was on TV. Like he was doing anything he could possibly do to break through. And I think that plays into what they could do with him. That's my dark horse. But I do think Solo's involved with this. Because if we go back to Bad Blood, you know, the fan footage, I think it was a plan where he's like, it's part of the plan. And we talked about, you know, Cody 3, and then Roman we think is 1. I think Jacob Fatu is going to be 2. Because Jacob Fatu has kind of got too big for his britches in the eyes of, like, in their eyes. Because he's pushed Solo out of the way. And now he's like, I'm running things. And he's where LA Knight was when they were trying to make LA Knight a heel. The fans love him so much so that when it was LA Knight and Jacob Fatu in the ring on Friday, they were chanting for Jacob Fatu.
Yes, they were.
You can't hold him back anymore. And I think I'm just a big proponent of pushing Jacob Fatu to the moon.
Yeah,
I think this would be huge for him. And it goes with the solo Jacob Fatu match that
is that Mania? Do you guys think that happens at Mania?
Yeah.
Solo,
Yeah.
can Solo handle another? Like, he loses every match he's in. That's big. Like, does it matter?
He's young. He's so young. I think he could just get through this.
But Fatu, man, Fatu in his promos, you can just tell he's got it, dude. He's
the one.
Yeah.
Roman can get to the back because Jacob Fatu's number one.
Yeah, Fatu. Yeah.
What's up, Ronald? Good to see you, bud. Didn't make this offer to Cody, and so Jacob was so rapid. Yeah, and I saw someone bring up the fact that Solo was back to wearing the enforcer shirt, where he's wearing the solo. He's not wearing the suits and stuff anymore. So I think he goes back to like an enforcer role for The Rock and John Cena, and they go after Jacob Fatu. I think that's part of the thing. But that's, again, I fancy book stuff for my
I could see it. A spike to hey, Cena's about to lose. Oh shit, Solo spike to Cody. He turns around, boom, 17. I could see that happening.
Yeah. All right, so Albert, your turn, because you brought up a very interesting name, and I'm curious to hear how this works out.
So I think we kind of know exactly where we're going with Randy Orton for WrestleMania. It's obviously Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. This has been brewing for months. Orton was out for a really long time. So I think that night one, Randy Orton beats Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Muted and booted.
I don't like it. All right, I don't like it. This is look. I picked Sammy to win last time too, and you know what? I regret it. I regretted it. The second we were off the air, I went, man, why did I pick Sammy? I should have picked Kevin Owens. I do, because I love Kevin Owens. I like Kevin Owens more, and I love Sammy, but I like Kevin Owens more than I like Sammy. I just thought that they were going to give the.
I got you. It was a tough one.
Now it's WrestleMania night 2, and Rock is out there with John Cena, and Cody gets rid of, let's say Travis Scott is there. He gets rid of him. Now it's 2-on-1. They need somebody to come out to save Cody. And man, imagine that pop when Orton's music hits to come out to save his former protege. His mentor comes out. He squares off. Now it's the first time we get John Cena and Randy Orton in a ring in how long? They are one of the longest running feuds in pro wrestling history. We get the stare down. We get the Rock in the back, doesn't know what to do. And Orton just cracks Cody with an RKO, stands up, shakes hands with The Rock and John Cena. Now imagine we have John Cena and Randy Orton, the two-man power trip, running roughshod over WWE for the entire summer. Orton then can go into that feud with Cody Rhodes afterwards because Cena doesn't want to defend the championship. Now we finally get that blood feud between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes where you can go 2-3 months. That keeps Cody Rhodes away from John Cena because now Cody can't challenge for that championship. Cena goes, has the match at Money in the Bank against CM Punk, defends his title against some other major baby faces, maybe a guy like Jey Uso if Jey Uso ends up not winning. They have other options with other, top tier baby faces like Seth Rollins that Cena can have, big matches with. It comes back full circle, maybe at Survivor Series where Cody finally then beats John Cena for the championship back. And maybe it's Orton, is the schism that creates like the friction because it's like, okay, John, we get it. You're retiring. That's great. I want to be world champion too, though. So, what are we doing? Like, it's always been like me and you. It should be me versus you. That's the way it should be. We should both be main eventing. Why is it just you? There's some friction. The Rock tries to play peacemaker. Maybe Orton gets a little bit pissed off. Costs Cena the championship. That leads to John Cena versus Randy Orton for his final match.
That's not bad. I like that. I wouldn't be mad if they go down a route like that. I'll pull up Harry's here. He wants the whole roster to join. New Day, Drew, Becky, Omos. Hey, I wouldn't mind Omos being a part of this.
Omos would be awesome.
Omos to be part of something. I think he still might end up being Judgment Day because I think that's a great fit.
I was going to ask you guys, who do you guys think? Who do y'all think they add? Judgment Day adds.
I think Omos.
That's a good call. I don't know.
Bronson Reed was not her. I think it was him because I think
Okay.
it just fits. But Omos, I think there was a segment where Dom was talking to Karrion Kross on Raw. I hope it's not Karrion Kross. I want Karrion Kross on his own. I really dig what he's doing, and I think it works alone.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It works with Judgment Day. But yeah, Omos is my pick. I just think it makes sense for the evolution of Dom's character because he needs to lead Judgment Day next. And to have someone like Omos for him to stand behind and run his little mouth would be great. So yeah, like it would be funny.
Yeah.
And it puts Omos on TV every single week because the Judgment Day and Dom are there every single week. They're part of the show. So what's up, Yvonne? What's up? Good to see you.
I will say this. The idea, now Harry brought up the New Day, and this is something I wanted to bring up. I want to see the New Day be the equivalent of what the New Age Outlaws were before they were officially members of DX. So if you guys remember when Shawn and Triple H were, the members of DX with China, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn helped them out a bunch. Like they helped them out to take out the LOD, a couple other big things. They were kind of like their lackeys. I would love for the New Day to be the literal bro thinks he's on the team meme. For like that group, oh, yo, we're all cool. John, look, even you embrace this side.
Okay, for John, for John's group, that would,
and so they're not in, but they think they're in, and I think it'd be a really fun gag for New Day, because it puts them and it elevates them, it makes them. Because they don't deserve to just be a middling tag team. They should be at a top tier. And they could
also basically run their mouth for them when they're not there because New Day's there every week. And they could be like, on behalf, and that's a role I think Xavier would thrive big in.
Yeah.
This is why I don't want him in the group. I think Dom needs to be the next leader.
You know who I think it is? And I'm going to die on this hill until it's wrong. I think it's Aleister Black. Why are they waiting so long? Why are they waiting? Like he got released.
That makes him the leader, though.
Look, Finn's got issue. Finn and Aleister have didn't they have a couple feuds in NXT? There's history there.
That was another one.
He's coming back.
Yes.
So why not? Like it doesn't have to affect Dom. Aleister's new. He'll be like, hey, Dom's like, I found this guy. Well,
the fans remember who he is, though.
Well, yeah, but like he'll be new to the group. Well, a lot of the new fans won't because dude, since the last time he's been on TV, I think Aleister's a perfect fit. I think it's a perfect to get him back into the fold. You bring him in, you feud him with Finn, Dom's pulling the string still. I think it could work.
If Dom is in charge, I'm okay with it. My only thing is I'm going to die on this hill. Dom should be leading Judgment Day when Finn's gone.
Well, Dom's the one bringing this guy in, right? Like he keeps alluding to, we got to bring a guy in. So whoever comes in this is Dom's call, whether it's Black or Omos. Omos would be a good fit, though. He'd look very interesting standing next to Liv, Raquel, and Dom, though. That would be. And is McDonough staying if Finn leaves?
No, that's gonna be interesting.
Because McDonough's like Finn's boy.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
But they were teasing McDonough kind of being fed up with Finn's shit before he got hurt.
A little bit,
little things. So
yeah.
It is one of the best rivalries of all time, and it's probably John Cena's best rivalry.
She's biased. She likes Randy Orton,
but I mean, I agree with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feed her bullshit. I agree with that.
I will say this. No. I do think that if they inevitably when Finn leaves, I think that Dom is going to assume he's the leader. I think that Liv is going to be the one who is going to be like kind of like what Rhea was
now.
Hold on. Pump the brakes.
He's all over here pumping.
Remember
over here.
When there was Judgment Day has no leaders, but everybody was like, Rhea's the leader. I feel like that's what they're going to go with again. But it's going to be like Liv is going to be like, but I'm the leader because why wouldn't she? She's self-absorbed and thinks she's better than everybody else. She should be.
She don't think she's better than Dom, baby.
I don't know about that.
You know,
I think that that's what inevitably leads to their split. Is that finally Dom's like, okay, I'm tired of taking orders from Rhea. I'm tired of taking orders from you. I'm better than both of you anyway. I don't need you. And then he can go off on his own.
Who's writing the storyline?
Dom. Who's always right?
Me. I'm writing the story.
Wait. You said who's right? I think you said who is right in the storyline. Who's writing?
Who's writing this storyline?
I'm thinking about writers. I'm like, I don't know.
I am making the storyline. I make the rules. That's an interesting name that I have not even thought about.
Oh, that's a good one.
I still think Conan, but
that could work too.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. That's a new one. So good on that, Harry. You're not just spewing the same BS everyone else is.
I think it should be Liz Mark Jr.
Who?
I'm gonna just keep ranting. I was gonna keep listing off random WCW cruiserweights. Silver King. Viano's 4 and 5, maybe. La Parka. That would be a good one too. Yeah.
The Juice Juventud Guerrera.
There we go. There's
there's
another great candidate.
Chris Jericho.
There's the answer.
So what's Gable's thing with that? So he's going to find
LDND.
Okay, so I'll fill you in on my little tidbits on this. He's going to find the master of the dark arts of luchador. Now, what Aleister Black connection here is his gym is called the Dark Arts Gym. So that's interesting. But I think that WWE has one of these partners because they're starting to work with other companies. And AAA is one that Conan runs.
Yes.
Okay.
And Conan is one of the people who trained Dom before he became a wrestler. And he has connections to like Rey Mysterio and all that. So I think that's where, and then Chad Gable's going to wrestle in AAA for a little bit and then come back because he's mastered the luchadors by going down to AAA and wrestling luchadors, the best of the best in the world. And then he's going to come back to face Penta.
Okay,
see, that's what it is. But the Aleister Black gym thing is very interesting because it is the Dark Arts gym.
Well, see, with Penta, sorry, go ahead.
Really quick, I think it would be really funny if this all just turns out to be that Dom just gave him like the number, like just some random guy, and it's just like some guy who's had like one match in Mexico, and Gable's like all pissed off at him when he comes
Gable
back.
paid him for it, that would be great. Like Gable, like,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
$20,000, and Dom's like, dang. And then he goes down.
Go see this guy. It's like his uncle's like cousin on his mom's side. Like it's like nobody who's even in the wrestling business. It would be great. Go ahead. That's just me.
No. See, WWE's doing this thing now where it's like if we're all sitting here and we're like, well, this obviously is going to happen, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
So a guy that just got released from AEW, Ray Phoenix, we obviously think he's just going to go team with Penta, correct?
I think that was the plan until they saw how
good Penta's over.
Penta blew up.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to try and figure something else out and then later.
Who better for Gable to go to than Ray Phoenix because he knows Penta better? Like, that's perfect. That's a beautiful way to bring him in.
That would be
he's available now, right? Like, he's free. Like,
because
Tony
Khan's
Khan,
like, oh, Phoenix is going to come in, they're going to take Penta out of this, and they're going to ruin his run. And I think this would be a great swerve for Phoenix.
Yeah, dude, because everybody I've talked to thinks they're teaming up. Like, they're going to run the tag team. It's like, no, Fraxium looks like they're about to lose the belts and come up and run the tag team division. If you bring them in and feud them, I think that'd be a really good. That'd be a swerve to us, like the normal wrestling fan, be like, holy shit. But Aleister, I just want Aleister back. Like, I'm glad that he's finally coming back. He shouldn't have been fired in the first place.
I'll say, what I like about the Phoenix one is if I'm Penta and Phoenix and I want to come to WWE, what would be the biggest thing ever for them if they came to WWE? I think having a match against each other at the biggest show would be. I think that's all actually a really fantastic. I've never even put those two together. That's actually pretty brilliant.
Cool, yeah, it's a cool idea.
Very brilliant.
Well, and then look at both sides. Damn, you have the 30% of wrestling fans that are crying, oh my God, they're not teaming up. Guess what, dude? You can turn them in 6 months and they can run the tag team division. We've seen how many times is these over tag teams we have broke up and gotten back together. Like
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have broken up 55
times. Dude. Yeah, and we love it every time. They could fight every pay-per-view and I would never complain. Like ever. Never once.
I don't want the Hardys at Mania. No, I don't. It's the reason I'm not watching it. I tried to get back into NXT and they immediately throw the Hardys in my face. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch NXT until they're gone.
Okay, so
I don't want them at Mania.
Why? What's your thing against the Hardys?
I just think I don't want to say overrated. They're clearly one of the best of all time. I'm not shitting on them. They're great. My beef is with Jeff.
Okay.
I don't like, there's a lot of wrestlers who get shit for having like one strike against them.
Yeah.
Jeff has like 25.
That's
Yep.
fair.
And for some reason, everyone's like, give Jeff the world. Give him another. And it's
Yep.
like, no. I'm kind of tired of it just being like, here's another. They're fantastic. We took my boy to meet them, and they're awesome. I literally, they're great. They're one of the best of all time. I just personally don't want to see them. I
Well,
just
look,
don't.
You're missing a lot of good shit on NXT. If you're,
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You really are. You really
I
are.
try. It's not for me. It's just not for me.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not saying it's bad because a lot of people do like it. It's just not for me. I try and I'm like, what are they doing? There's people I like down there for sure. Obafemi is going to be amazing.
Oh my God, yeah.
My boy Ricky Saints is there. I love Ricky. And once the Hardys are done with doing this little run, I'll tune back in and start trying to get back into it. But it's hard. That is our boy Josh. He is a dude I used to do a podcast with. He used to have regularly scheduled hostilities, and I would join all the time. He's John Cena fanboy.
So here's my thing about the Hardys. I'm with you, Jimmy, with that. There's a lot of people talk about CM Punk. How are they going to give Punk another chance? Punk didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean,
He stood up for himself.
Right. He walked out because he felt like he was being mistreated. Jeff Hardy walked out in the middle of a match and then they offered to give him rehab, and he said no.
Like, and then what do you end up having to do 3 months later? Go to rehab.
So, and that's the thing. And that's, look, I'm not anti this. I do actually really like the poetic nature of the fact that the Hardys look like they're going to end their careers probably in WWE. They'll eventually be in the Hall of Fame. I think it's right. I think that they have a rightful place, even though they're not personally my favorite as one of the best tag teams in history. I think it's a nice little bow to put on their careers.
I think,
but
Jeff
I also do
Hall of Famer.
He probably is.
I think
he probably is.
That's so I understand. Like, I'm not saying it's because he sucks. 1000% no. I'm just kind of over the just bring it back. Go away.
Right. And it's the hypocrisy part of it where people are very much willing to give other people second chances, and people who have been proven innocent of things that they've been accused of won't ever work in the wrestling industry again because of the way the internet treats them. I don't like that. I don't like that personality that the internet tries to white knight things because they feel like they know better. Yeah, I hate that shit. Same. At the end of the day, look, if that's going to be the case, if you can give Jeff Hardy 12 chances, then you can give everybody else 12 chances. It's not fair that one person gets to, and then people are like, oh, well, there are, you could say whatever, but Jeff Hardy was just trying to hurt himself. No, because if Jeff Hardy drives impaired, he could hurt other people.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like the Usos, when they got the slap on the wrist with the DUIs, a lot of people were getting pissed, and I was one of them. Because it's like, dude, they could hurt somebody. Send these guys.
People. They could ruin someone's entire family. And it's like, no, I don't want to give that person 5 chances. I think you get one. I'll give you one. But then it's like, and I know this comes across as like I'm like inconsiderate, and all. I'm not. Like I truly, I hope that things turn out the best. I hope that this time it's done and he lives a long life and he never screws up again. I truly do.
Right.
I don't hope the worst for the guy. I'm just kind of tired of seeing it because it's like he gets another break, another chance 6 months after he screwed up last time. It's like, yo, that's not helping him.
Right.
Helping him is making him realize you fucked up and now you have to live with that.
Which is what WWE tried to do.
That's my thing.
And then look, and it was also that, and then the back talk about WWE by both of the Hardys afterwards too. Now, look, obviously everything's fine; they're fine. But I mean, just the idea of saying, "Oh, they wanted Jeff to go to rehab, but he doesn't need to go to rehab. WWE doesn't know what he needs," and it's like, dude, he went to rehab 3 months later.
Yeah,
like, come on, there's certain points where you want to stand up for your family, and that's fine. You want to trash WWE, great. But then there are certain situations where it's like
he's big company man. He's big company man because he's not very kind to AEW now. But Let's get back to John. Oh, I do want to throw in one more name for this group. I'm not going to go into it because as soon as you started talking about him, it like just triggered in my head, and I was like, I envision it. It's clear as day, and maybe I'll talk about it another time. But I'll just plant the seed now. I think Sami Zayn is a dark horse for this group after Mania. And if you want to hear that, I'll gladly talk to you in the DMs about it, or whatever. But I just want to get back to this last question I have about John Cena. So, do we all agree that the likelihood of John Cena winning the title at this point, right now, it's in his favor?
I agree.
I would agree.
Okay. So, who takes the title off of him? Damn.
Cody
takes the title off of him.
I think Cody wins it back from him.
Okay.
CM Punk.
That's what
I
I'm
would love
talking
that.
about,
I would love
baby.
that.
I got a whole like 3-month like spiel of where I think this is going after Mania, where Punk, like you get Punk and Cena and like the favor, which I don't know where you guys think that favor's going, but that's kind of been lingering in my head. Like, well, they could do this with Punk, but I'm like, no, they can't. He has that favor though. Like, what is that freaking favor? Which I think the favor is going to be that he gets Roman to help him take out The Rock, because everybody thought, or at least from what I read on the internet and what I've heard talking to my friends that watch the product, they think it's like, well, he's got to help Punk get in the main event. Heyman don't have that kind of pull.
Yeah, I don't like
Right.
that theory at all.
So,
I think
like,
that's lazy. That's lazy as shit.
Who's
Right, because
Paul?
Heyman doesn't have
Go
that
ahead.
pull. Like, yes, he does have that pull with Roman, but that was when Roman
Yep.
was like this big major star. Heyman doesn't book, so you're right.
Right. Who does he have pull with? The bloodline. Roman.
Yeah,
right.
Like, hey, dude, look, Roman, he helped you. I need you to help take down Dwayne. What's it do? It sets up 2 of the biggest matches you're going to have in the next 10 years. It sets up John Cena, CM Punk, and it sets up what have we been waiting for the last 5 years at Mania? It's Rock versus Roman Reigns in Vegas with no title involved in it because it doesn't need it. I think it sets up that it starts the build of Rock and Roman that leads to next year. And I think Punk and Cena, then I think Punk takes it off of Cena. I think if Punk wouldn't have got hurt last year, Punk would have had the belt by now already. You got to I think it's time to put the strap on Punk, whether it's SummerSlam, whether you think it has to be, well, Cena's not going to be here next Mania. So, I mean, you got to kind of pick which show you want that to be in. Money in the Bank would be a good one. I mean, you could do a lot of things there. You could have Punk
Money in
win
the
and
Bank.
cash in. Like, you could do a lot of things there, but I do think Punk, I feel like he has to be the guy, because if not now, when?
So
I think that might be the issue. I don't know if there's a when.
Yeah, no, Money in the Bank is July. So if he wins it, that's April, May. That's a 3-month reign. I don't think that's terrible. I don't think the person who wins Money in the Bank cashes in. I think whoever beats John Cena for the title needs to beat John Cena for the title because it'll be huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think cashing in on him would be cheap and a waste. So I'm going to go back to a person I mentioned before because, again, I'm going to push him to the moon every chance I get. And I think let's just say SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam or maybe even Survivor Series. I think Jacob Fatu, if he's still on the trajectory he's at right now, he should be at that position. And I think he's a great person to have come in and beat John Cena for the title so that you can cement him as like, hey, he's officially one of our top guys. He's believable. It ties in the bloodline story to an extent, and it's not the same old shit we've been getting. And I love Jacob Fatu, so I want to give him everything. So that's I'm gonna just throw out a crazy name, and I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu is the one that takes it from if he wins it. This is not a bad shout, Ron. It's not. I think
I wouldn't be mad.
If Drew starts to lean towards the babyface a little bit more, I think that's a good one because The Rock loves Drew, and he would love to put him over. So, and I don't think we've never gotten John Cena Drew big time match. So that'd be great. That'd be really good.
Here's the other thing.
Skip the mid card.
We talk about when for Punk. Remember, Punk didn't want to win the AEW title. There's a chance that Punk doesn't want to win the WWE title either. I know he wants that WrestleMania main event, but that just might be that, like, I'm gonna get it, and then wouldn't it be the greatest story in the history of wrestling that I finally get there and I lose? Yeah, like that. I feel like that's who CM Punk is now.
He's more story.
Right. So that's my whole thing of, like you said, if not now, when. I don't know if the thought process was let's bring back and put the strap on Punk. I think it was bring back CM Punk and let's strap the rocket to other people so that Punk can help get them over. And I think that he's done that since he's been back. We've seen him. He talks about the title. Yeah, he had Rumble, and then he got hurt. He comes back. He talks about the title
because ideally,
Elimination Chamber, because that's what you want to do.
Anybody who's there should be chasing it. That's the idea. So I get, like, he should be talking about the title, but I think he has no aspirations to win it. I think he's there to literally.
I don't think Phil Brooks has aspirations
and help get the next generation over. I truly believe that. I always believe that about him, even though a lot of people shit on him. I truly think that's what he cares, because he likes the idea of being something for these people that he didn't have when he was in their spot. So he wants to be a change. He wants to be the voice of the
But with that being said, Josh, I do like your idea because exactly what you just said, Jimmy. Who was the one person that Punk always credited with actually being a stand-up guy and being helpful to him, even when it didn't, when like he didn't have to?
Yep.
It was John Cena. Yep. So like backstage, that was always like the fact the fact that Cena was fighting for Punk. So I think it makes a very interesting plot twist if Punk's the guy who takes the belt off of Cena.
I'll tell you right now,
super cool.
If Chicago gets Money in the Bank,
oof.
Currently, Milwaukee is putting a bid in for it, but fuck that.
If I'm WWE, I'm going.
Chicago.
Hey, you know what? Let's go to Chicago.
If it's in Chicago,
gonna get some nuclear heat when he prevents Punk from winning that belt.
Dude, if it's in Chicago, I don't even know. I'm not a map guy. I know Ohio's not that far away from Chicago, though. I'm taking 2 days off work and I'm going to that. I'm trying to get to that event if it's in Chicago. That's going to be a hot ass crowd right there. I want to throw one more name at you guys. I forgot about that member real quick. I think I told Jim. I think I messaged Jimmy and told him, and he was like, "Nah, dude." But I think Ethan Page is somebody you got to consider as well. The Rock took time out of it, dude. Think about it. Everything they do now means something, which we have to get our brains back from the Vince era, where Finn Balor's the rope falls down and we never hear why. Like they treat us like their shit all adds up now. Why did The Rock The Rock went to NXT? Sure, he wanted to put over his daughter and call her the final boss, right? That promo with Ethan Page wasn't for nothing, I don't think, man. Yeah. He's like, dude, I like you. I'll see you on the main roster one day. What if he has history with Cody, right? Like, I think that's what's fun about wrestling now. Every idea that we've had on this show works perfectly for what they're doing. And they can go 100 ways.
That's been the theme for the past few months is like we talk about so many roads that they could go and they all make sense. And then they ended up taking a road that nobody saw. It's like they moved the bush and like, there's a road right there. We totally missed it. And it was like, it makes sense. Like,
dude, I got a buddy who's hell bent. He's like, dude, Ambrose is going to pop up. I don't know how, but they're going to. I was like, dude, he's never coming back.
But just to help you out a little bit, if it is in Chicago, it is a 5-hour and 17-minute drive. There are trains that start at $75 that are 6 hours and 45 minutes. Buses, $41 that are 7 hours, and flights start at $170. So
I am flying to Chicago. I would be flying. I've never flown in my life. Not scared of it. Just never really had a reason to.
Yeah.
I would my car probably wouldn't make it 5 hours. Probably make it 2. Then I'd be stuck in, whatever states in the middle of Ohio and Chicago. So I'm probably, if Money in the Bank's in Chicago, the tickets probably cost more than the flight. To be honest,
I'm sure they will.
Right.
I promise you they will. That's why I'm not going to Mania this year.
I was going to go to Raw. Raw's going to be in MSG. I was going to go. I saw the ticket prices. I know I'm not going to go now.
I also was going to go to Bad Blood, and then I didn't. And then the match happened, and I was like, you sons of bitches. If they would have told me that match was happening at the get-go, I would have just went ahead and paid for them prices. But yeah, the ticket prices are kind of insane right now. But that would be an amazing one. That environment, just the environment.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes the WWE shows, the environment. And that's one of the craziest ones. That's like a bucket list is to watch a Chicago show. Can you? No. I think he's a good devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. And I think he plays into the Sami Zayn name drop that I just brought up with joining The Rock in them.
And the Sami one's good.
Never going to happen. Good. Yeah, because if John Cena has this title, who has the other one? Jey Uso.
Yeah, dude. See, dude, it's an exciting thing. Like
in a Waffle House brawl.
Don't pitch that. They might do it. They might do it.
Nah. Waffle House would have to pay them a bunch of money to do that. But yeah, that's the show. I think we got everything in about the John Cena. Man, on a scale of 1 to 10, how heartbreaking was it for you?
I'm still emotionally dealing with it right now. Like my Snapchat was like all these memes, and every one of them I post, and it's like the cry emoji and like why John why, and people started messaging me like, "Are you legitimately okay?" And I was like, ... I don't know, and that's kind of where I'm still at. I need to know the why. I'm pumped for it. Like I've been waiting for this since I was like 20 years old. So like, I'm glad it's happening. I'm just eager to see where it's going, and I'm glad that he's
heartless.
He's going to be on a full-time schedule for at least through Mania, I think, once he comes back. I'm excited. Everybody was bitching, oh, he's missed 8 shows. It's like, dude, would you rather John Cena be on a pointless Raw in the middle of January,
don't.
or would you rather have him on the road to WrestleMania? He's on Raw or
Every
SmackDown
week.
every
Yep.
single week. Dude, I can't. My excitement for Mania is insane right
Yeah.
now. Like,
Again, barring Monday night, my excitement level went from like a 3 to about a 6 after this, because my whole thing was like, if John Cena's facing Cody at Mania, the only thing I envisioned as being a interesting story was if it was John Cena going in as a face and it's how Cody turns heel. He basically pushes Cody to become heel because Cody can't live up to John Cena. But then they flipped the switch and did this, and I'm like, bro, that's brilliant. I love it. It's great. Y'all all heartless. I'd say I'm at like an 8 because I literally just became a John Cena fan like 2 years ago. I was always like, I was talking about it before. I'm like, I respect him, but I'm not a fan. Then I became a fan, and then I was getting so excited to see him. And then I'm watching this all. I'm like, oh shit. And then they do this, and it's like, how could you do this? I'm thinking of all these kids. These Make-A-Wish. He did 4 Make-A-Wishes before they went out there and did what he did. You dirty son of a bitch.
I know.
You saw what they trademarked, didn't you, Albert? Break-A-Wish.
Break-A-Wish, yeah.
You
fantastic. Fantastic. Look,
so
it's who he's always been. I told you. This is why I wasn't heartbroken. It's just who he's always been.
Hey, Punk was right.
Hey, stuff comes full circle, Jimmy. 2 years ago, you're on RSH trashing John Cena. I'm trashing CM Punk. Now I'm on your guys' show. You're praising John Cena, and I'm trying to put the belt on the damn guy, and you guys are like, no, let's not do it. So, hey, look, you think
I love wrestling.
You think things can't come full circle and you can't get John Cena babyface by December? Dude, it can happen, and they're probably going to do it. They probably already have it ready. Like I'm sure they're already there. Like they're ready for next Mania because they plan a year in advance.
You got to be invested, man. You got to be invested.
I feel like Cena's already going to have he's got a custom belt made for him already. Like,
you know what I mean? I don't like the spinner belt idea that everyone's saying. Like he's going to bring back. Why? That makes no sense.
No, he doesn't need to bring back
do
the
a new
spinner.
one.
I think he's going to maybe
shit.
Kind of something different, like what AEW does, like how they gave like MJF the Burberry strap. I feel like that maybe they'll do something different like that for Cena. But like,
but if he's not Cena, we don't even know like what the character's really going to be yet. So it's I don't want to like start
March 17th.
March 17th.
That's a huge day.
What he's doing with this and this until I see the presentation. I'm excited because it's just so different. And I wish I would have asked this question when we could have fit it in, but I'm gonna go ahead and not because we're at our mark. So that's the show, everybody. We will be back next Wednesday. You're good for Wednesday, Albert? Yeah.
Oh yes, sir.
Okay, because
we're doing Wednesday. You can't do Thursday. Yeah,
I can't do Thursday.
Sure, why not?
I've already been booked. So Thursday or Wednesday, we're gonna be back next Wednesday. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm sure we'll get there. Josh, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you guys having me.
You jumped in the DMs. It's like, man, it's good to see this guy again. Right at the right time too, because John Cena is.
Oh, dude, he messaged me. You messaged me the other day, and he was like, "Dude, you still a John Cena? You got to come on. You're like biggest John Cena fanboy I know." And I was like, "Dude, I went to work Monday, and they're like, you good?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. Just leave me alone and let me do my thing. I'm still trying to deal with this." And then, we'll see what happens. March 17th. I'm gonna circle that on my calendar for sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Hey, he's not. I have a feeling he's going to go nuclear. I just do. I think if he's going to go in, he's going to go in all.
Dude, the promos are going to be insane.
10 years to think of things, and usually John Cena's a off the cuff guy. For him to have 10 years to come up with ideas on this, I'm excited.
Dude, The Rock wanted to beat his ass legitimately when he called out him writing that shit on his hand, and now they're teamed up. It makes zero fucking sense that they're together.
It's great. Love professional wrestling. This is the reason why.
Much appreciated. So with that, if you got nothing else left to say, we're going to say our goodbyes, and I will play the real song this time.
Right.
Because it is way better. Does it?
Welcome to the Positively Awesome.
So this is the good one. Toodles, everybody.
Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show, where Jimmy always praises Dirty Daddy Dom. This is the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show, and we do not like that deadbeat dad Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. He also does a good Macho Man impression. Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. CEEEENA is the queen of the world. This is the